Okay, so here's a rig that I made to place one of these bits on, but you can sort of get an idea for how to overlap something from the squares from this. So basically what I've got are these guys, which are 5 points. So if I delete that, right, and I delete that, and I delete that, and I go to this guy and I create similar, right, it's going to let me pick like 1, 2, 3, oops, there we go, 4, it's going to be a little upside down, but you get the point, 6. So I can sort of pick those and place them on this rig right here. I should have started at a different point, but and then sort of pick their way around until, right, if I control Z back, it looks like that, right? So I just placed them on there, but in order to make this rig and have the overlap, I had to have these little guys coming off the end right here. So let's take a look at how they're working. So this is, I'm going to go ahead and select this and go to hide category. So it's going to turn off all the solids. So this is a dimension. It's placed, so this point is hosted on the line. And what I've done is I've picked that point and then I've drawn another reference line from it, making sure that drawn work plane and 3D snapping is off. And then you just draw the line out with the blue horizontal, making sure it's that blue line is on, and then you pick it and, you know, make that dimension permanent so you can put the dimension on it. Now, I know that this dimension, I think, needs to be 1/3 of the size of the rest of these. So let me reset temporary hide isolate. So basically what I did is I took a dimension and I dimensioned between the adaptive points, and I made that a reporting parameter. So just to show you how to do that, you got to create aligned, and you got to make sure that you pick the adaptive points. So make sure it says adaptive points when you're over that. Then I'm going to come over here and pick that adaptive point. And you also want to make sure, right now it looks a little funky. You want to make sure that you set this level 1 as your current plane before you dimension. So I'm going to set that. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to dimension from that point to that point and pull that out. Dimension from that point to that point and pull it out, right? And then zoom in on it, pick it, go to add parameter, and I'm going to make this an instance reporting parameter. So it's just saying, hey, this is how big I am. So I'm just going to name this test report because I'm not going to use it. And I did one for each side because you don't know if you're going to have a square or not. So I've got one over here that's a driver 2, and then one up here that's a driver 1, right? So this distance, driver 1, then I have a driven right here. So let's look at the dialog box. So remember, driver is dimensioning the whole thing. And I know I need like 1/3 of that or something to get that, or 1/6. So if I come in, there's that driver reporting the distance. And the driven, I just have set up to be the driver 1 divided by 6. So it's driver 1 divided by 6. Okay. And then on the other side, the driver 2, so here's the driver 2, right? I know that this distance down here needs to be, I guess, is it 0.25 of this entire distance? You have to figure out the math, you know, based on what you're working on. And so if I go in here and we look at driver 2, right, yeah, it's 0.25. So it's driver 2 divided by 4. So you just set up a formula. Now the driven has got to be an instance parameter as well. So we made that first one a reporting instance parameter. And I'll just show you really quickly, like if I go to create aligned, and I'm just going to create, create aligned dimension from there to there. So if you have a dimension, to create an instance parameter, you just pick it, go to add parameter, And when you add parameter, just pick instance and name it. Okay, so that's what gave me these distances here, right, our instance parameters. So again, if I look at my dialog box, I've got those 2 reporting parameters that went to the adaptive points. I figured out what percentage of those adaptive points I needed for the overage on that line. And then I put that formula in using that reporting parameter. Okay, so that's what I got for you. If you've got any questions, let me know. All right.